この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here this morning, and it is morning still. Interesting. For Sangatsu no Lion, episode 19. Last time on Sangatsu, we got we got a lot of stuff. There was a lot of good stuff in last Sangatsu. There was some training with the whole group at the workshop, and some playing Shogi, and some great visualizations of that. And then there was some one-on-one training between Shimada and Rei, and some really in-depth stuff there, which was kind of awesome. And then we got all this interesting stuff about Shimada's sort of wistful view of his hometown, and I don't know quite how to take it yet, but I feel like it's the first piece of a broader picture of Shimada's view of his hometown. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Let me make sure that my recording settings are all right. Yeah, I wasn't recording the right thing. Okay. Because I've got 3 OBS windows going right now, and one of them is recording me, and one of them is recording VLC, and one of them is recording my text editors that I can edit the notes in over here where they go. Anyway, great episode. There was also some interesting stuff with Hina and Momo figuring out whether is the witch here, and really what was going on there, and some more depth provided by Akari, who really seems to understand what's going on in that relationship a little bit better. Before we get into the episode, I want to do a comment spotlight. So, shoutouts to, is it Michael or Michal? I don't know. Because, like, my mom's name is Michal, and it's spelled the same way as your name. Anyway, Michael or Michal Bolanowski, what about the segment where you read comments? Is it only a Rising of the Shield Hero thing, or did you forget about it? I get that this is a video from a week ago, but in the newer videos, like Love is War, you didn't read them, and that's a shame. I thought it was a nice addition. You know what? Me too! I think it's a great addition. I think it's something that I definitely want to do, but I forgot. Straight up, I just forgot. Yeah, so we're getting one this time, and I'm going to read some comments, because I like to sort of have this extra layer of interaction with the people writing comments. And just a side note, it sort of inspires people to write more interesting comments, because they're like, hey, if I write something cool, maybe Teeaboo will read my comment. So, you know, a little feedback loop of goodness in the comment section. Yeah. So, some other great comments that I really enjoyed. One from Nitonol. Nice one. I like Shimada more and more as the series progresses. He's great, and his seiyuu is fantastic too. Also, Squirrely Sensei could have been referenced before. In episode 1, where Hina passed the house keys with a distinctly squirrely-shaped keychain to Rei. You're right, and that definitely does look like Squirrely Sensei, so that's interesting. I also really love Shimada's voice actor. He's fantastic. Honestly, all of the voice performances in this show have been really solid. I've really enjoyed everything about the show. It's really good, because it's really good. And finally, Blah Blah Treatment writes, I love the focus on Shimada on the Shogi plot, and it's also a chance for Rei to have a better idea of the road before him, which he so desperately wanted to know about before. And that's interesting, because it makes me think, Rei has this question that he wants to ask Shimada, and we're not quite sure what that is at this point. I'd like to know what that question is, and it's sort of a point of intrigue, but I figure it does have something to do with the weight on the shoulders of a professional shogi player, or the drive that keeps him going, or something along those lines. Something that would tie into Rei's internal, I don't know, struggle, I guess, to dive in and keep swimming forward, and trying to figure out whether Shimada has gone through a similar struggle, or what this guy has gone through, and see it from a different perspective. So, nice. I also like the realistic art that was used to depict Shimada's hometown rather than using the usual art style. That's an interesting point, and I didn't really catch it. It is very realistic. In fact, they might have taken photographs and drawn over them to get that kind of realism. That's one way to do it. But it was very realistic, with just some filter patterns over it and some nice feel to it. It's really cool. I've watched this episode several times and never got a stable interpretation of the scene of Kyoko offering Rei the umbrella, shown after the conversation between Rei, Hina, and Momo. Was it Hina and Momo's interpretation? Was it a legit flashback from Rei remembering a better side of Kyoko? Akari's revelation after that scene makes me doubt that Kyoko was ever nice to Rei, but I want it to be true because I think it makes Kyoko a more interesting character. You know, I didn't really put too much thought into that scene, but now that you've mentioned it, I don't really know what it means either. I don't know what that is. Was it just a side of Kyoko being somewhat siblingly? I don't know. It's really difficult to say. Like, I think I've made my position on Kyoko as a character at this point pretty clear. I love her as an element in the story, but I don't like her as a person. And I can't make myself see her as the victim that I know she is, because she's also a perpetrator of malice, if that makes sense. Like, she's gone too far for me to be able to look at her and see a character who I can sympathize with in any way that would actually change my opinion of her or make me like her. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, those were some great comments. I'm sure that there will be more rolling in as the episode gets more people's eyes on it, but I do want to keep doing that little spot in the beginning of the episodes. I know it makes things a little bit longer, so maybe I'll put a timestamp in the description so that if you just want to skip that, you can skip ahead and get straight into my reaction. A couple other things before we get started. So the first one is, I woke up this morning to a couple of emails that Crunchyroll has blocked a couple of the previous episodes, and these were manual blocks. So somebody on Crunchyroll staff actually went and blocked the episode on their end. So as soon as I saw those, I went and I downloaded all of the videos, so I have backup copies of all of them, and if things get blocked big time everywhere and stuff, I will re-upload them to like Mega and BitChute, and I'll make a video that's like, hey, if you can't see a bunch of the videos, then they're blocked in your country, and you should go to this link, and there'll be a folder there. Something like that. Because I want to make sure that this whole series of reactions stays up in some form. So I'm going to just keep putting them out on YouTube as I have been, and if we get lots of blockage, then we'll deal with it as it comes. But for now, I'm just going to put them up on YouTube and make sure that I have saved copies archived so that we can keep them up for later. Cool? Cool. Second thing to mention is just the normal shill stuff. Yeah, let's do that. Shill stuff, shill stuff. Oh, my bell fell off. Ding! If you like this content, go ahead and like this content. If you're not subbed and you want more reactions like this is what I do. Like, from the minute I wake up to the minute I go to sleep, I make reactions and I put them on YouTube. I do everything that there is related to the name Teeaboo. Everything that's on this channel is just my work. So all the thumbnails, all of the videos, all the editing, all of the rendering, it's all me. I don't have anybody else helping me work on this stuff. So yeah, this is what I do. I make lots of content and I give it to you. So if you appreciate that a lot, and you like a lot, then you might want to head over to patreon.com/Teeaboo. I've got my little teacup here. Patreon.com/Teeaboo, a place where you can throw me a few bucks and get early access, so next week's Sangatsu reaction, access to the Discord so that we can chat about things in a more direct way than the YouTube comments section, and some other little goodies, like the movies that I do when we hit patron goals. Yeah, and I don't know what movie I'll be doing when we hit this next goal, which is coming up pretty soon. I might do one early, actually, but there are a couple of films that I do want to see, and one of them is Liz and the Bluebird, but I feel like I should probably watch Hibike before I do that. Speaking of cute girl shows, not that Hibike is really a cute girl show. Speaking of cute girl shows, my Sunday is feeling a little bit sparse, and that's saying something because a lot of my other days are way too packed, and I've been letting Legend of the Galactic Heroes slide a lot because of that. But my Sunday's a little bit sparse with just Sangatsu on Sundays, so I'm thinking that sometime around the same time as I put this video up for patrons, I will also be putting up a poll announcement for a contemplative slice of life type show. I know that's kind of a weird way to put this, but a contemplative slice of life type show would pair really well with Sangatsu. When I started this Sunday block, I had it with Girls Last Tour, which is very much a contemplative philosophical slice of life show, where there isn't super tons to dig into, but it's really enjoyable and kind of calm. Not quite an Yashike, but sort of in the same realm in a sense, in that it's very atmospheric. I would like to have another show kind of in that vein on my Sunday block. So I'm thinking about putting up a poll. It'll be the first poll we've done in a little while. Putting up a poll for that purpose. And I just want to say this. Vote for K-On! Please! Please! I really want to watch K-On! I really want to watch some more KyoAni shows, just in general, because I have seen way too few of their series. And so I would like to watch K-On! And then watch Hibike after that, and then go into like Liz and the Bluebird and some of the other spin-off things. That being said, I might just not do a poll and might just announce K-On! Evil Teeaboo. Mustache twirl. Just because I really would like that to be something that I start watching and reacting to. Because I've seen none of K-On!, I know the general premise of it, and I think that it would fit really well as like a pairing with Sangatsu. Don't ask me why, I just think it would be good. Anyway, wow, we're 12 minutes into recording. Yikes, whoops, okay. Let's get this video up and start actually doing the reactification thingy-bajiggy. Episode 19 of Sangatsu no Lion will commence in soon. We don't really need a timer because they're still not getting totally blocked everywhere. It's just the manual one episode got manually blocked by Crunchyroll. There will be notes on screen. They'll be right over here. I don't know if I mentioned this in the last Sangatsu video, but I'm dialing back the quantity of notes that I take because I end up usually like going through the episode at the end anyway, and it's a lot better to do audio commentary than it is to like try and write everything down, especially when I get stuck on trying to like write down everything that a character says that seems even moderately important, which in this show is like everything. So yeah, I'm going to dial back on the note-taking and focus more on giving good audio commentary, and then we'll go through, I'll just take down, like, timestamps for things I want to look at, and, like, really interesting stuff, and maybe sometimes, like, goofy stuff, too, like, haha, that's so stupid, whatever. So I'll just dial it back a little bit, because on these videos and on the Ava videos, I got into this mindset of, like, I have to take down everything as notes, because blah, 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 and it was actually harming my audio commentary. So thank you to those people who have pointed that out. I do appreciate the feedback, and I will take that feedback into consideration and like actually change my ways to, make better videos. If you do have any feedback of any kind for these videos, I would love to hear it. Constructive criticism is really helpful because, like, I'm just shouting off into the void, and all I get back from that, the only echo I receive is your comments. So if you like it, let me know, and let me know what things about it you do like. For example, are you going to do the comments highlight thing? I liked that. Hell yes, I'm going to do the comments thing. I'm just an idiot. I forgot. Or letting me know that I seem to take too many text notes and my audio commentary is suffering, because you're right. And I went back through some of my videos and was like, you know what? My audio commentary is suffering, and that's the main, like, core of the video, so hell, I'll change it up. Anyway, now we're 15 minutes into recording. Let's get into the thing, shall we? Oh! God damn it, let's go even further. I hope you like the little Konobangu Miwa spot at the beginning. That was for Hyo. Of course it was for Hyo. Hyo, who is supporting me in the $15 tier on Patreon, which gives him that special little shout out. So, Hyo, you the bomb. Thank you very much. I love you. Really appreciate it. Now, finally, let's push the button.
沿いを走る電車の音うつむいて咲くひまわりの色夕焼けがしましまのボーダーになるありがとうって君が言うたんび泣きそうな気持ちになるのはなんでだ子供みたいにさ涙流れ冷蔵庫に置いてきたはずだ買って嬉しい花一問目あの子が欲しいさよならバイスタンダー僕らは歩いて行けこの道行きの最後かって動くかそこらじゃないとしてもただの君と笑ってたって言いたいよ誇らしさとか願いとか希望とかもずっと持ち合わせとくよ怖くて怖くて怖くて沈みそうでも守るよ守るよ僕のすべて捧げ目の前の君に誓うよ
将棋盤はずっと赤ん坊の頃から
Is this
当たり
Shimada?
前に目の前にあった。俺が育ったところ
Oh,
は東北の雪ばっかりの村で
with just a thematic link to
人間より
Soyotoji.
多いところで
More cows and roosters. Okay,
さ
so
らに
it's a
その
farm.
人間も老人ばっかりで
Okay, the town that
俺
doesn't
は
want
同年
anybody
代
there,
の子供
right?
が全くおらず野球もサッカーも人数不足
God, I just want to drown in his
でき
voice,
ずに
you
育
know?
った。
It's really using the proximity effect of his microphone, which means getting really close and
ゲームをするか
talking into it
本を
softly.
読むか。しかしそれもやり
Gives
尽く
a
して
bunch
し
of
まったあ
bass
る
to the
冬の日
microphone.
近所のじいさまたちが将棋を教えてくれた。
Ah,
これが王様、そしてこれが金、銀、飛車、角。
ah, the sparkles in
ゲ
his
ームも
eyes.
漫画も小説もすぐに終わりが来てしまうの
Ah, Shogi never
将棋だけは
ends.
どこまで行っても終わりがなくてどこまでも俺を夢中にさせてくれ
Of
た。
course. The little prodigy, and they're under like
この2年
a
で村
heated.
中の大人を
Ah,
任すようになり小3になる頃にはバスに揺られて市内の小さな将棋道場へ通うようになった。そこでもどんどんクラスが上がり
参りました。すごい。この子はすごいぞ。
God,
道
this
場の
VA
先
is
生の紹
amazing.
介で大内先生の門下に入り
Oh,
東京の奨励会
Chi-sensei.
に入ることになった。中学生の自分にとって東京は遠かった。月2回の奨励会へ通う交通費を捻出するため村中のリンゴや桃をもいで回り秋には稲刈りを手伝い冬には牛という牛の世話をして回った。
すごい仲いいわ。今度はひょっとしてわすらの村から名人が出るかも
Oh,
村中のじいさんが心から応援してくれた。
ah.
バイト代と応援してくれたじいさまたちや地元の将棋クラブの人たちの後押しで奨励会に通い続けた。夜行バスに揺られて
Overnight bus.
その頃からいはいつもこんな調子だった。
Ah. Wow.
三段リーグは誰もが口にしていた通り鬼の住処だった。俺はそこで何年も動けなくなった。田舎では天才と言われたガキもそこではただのガキの一人でしかなかった。それでも故郷のじいさまたちは俺をずっと応援し続けてくれた。ギシギシときしむ夜行バスのシート、果てしなく続く夜の道。そのうちきし しんでいるのがシートなのか胃袋なのか、それとも心なのかわからなくなった。どこまで行ってもどこにもたどり着けないのではとうなされた。
Wow.
でも
I can't tell if that's real.
どうしても無駄にはで
I
きな
know
かった。
that it's not, but it almost
したく
looks
な
it.
かった。その痛みを俺は多分今も抱えている。
お邪魔します。
So we hear it from his perspective.
よう桐山。
Oh, that's
あーいいです
fantastic.
座っててください。適当にいろいろ買ってき
5
たんで
minutes
冷蔵庫に入れちゃ
minus
います
the
ね。
OP
すまんな。
いえ、全
of
然。
just Shimada
春休みで
thoughts.
すから。お昼食べましたか？
ああ、いや、豆腐とか少し。
うどん買ってきました。煮ていいですか？うんと柔らかくしたら負担が少ないです。
ああ、それなら食えるかも。悪いな。
父がいつ持ちだったんで、なんとなく覚えてます。ちょっと待っててください。
あれ、幸田さんっていつ持ちだったっけ？
卵も入れていいですか？
Not Koda, my real father. My real father.
違う。
Yeah.
ああ、うん。頼む。そうか。
Yeah.
本当の親の方か。
Yeah. Hey, that's a nice looking
あ
meal.
あ、すごい。
Learning from Akari, eh?
うまいな。これなら食えそうだ。
よかった。島田さん、僕今日はこれで帰ります。
That was all you came
あ、
for?
なん
Let's
で？
play some shogi.
4曲目は5日後です。今はもう体調を整えるのに専念すべきでは。ここでこれ以上無理をしても。
大丈夫だがな。俺の胃はいつもこんなもんだし、意外に対局中は痛まんし。
本当ですか？
ああ、とは言っても今回はな、確かに困ったな。藤田はあまりしたくない側なんだが、まあ自然な流れで自分の中でこれはいけるという手が浮かんだので、それを封じ手にしたんだが、夜中にな。
What are sealed moves?
66銀じゃないよ、銀じゃん。疲れてロー銀5号して6号強で行くぞって思ってたんだけど、46角見落としてた。ダメじゃん。これ昼飯前に積んじゃうんじゃねえ。
This is amazing.
そっからがさ、もうさ、それでもなんとか粘る道はないかと考えまくってさ、いいわ、もうバッキュンバッキュン言うしさ。
That's stress, yeah.
それもあれで俺は何を言いたかったんだっけ？
え
あれ
え、ですからやはり休まれた方がよろしいかと。
そうか。そうだな。わかった。いや、俺は居飛車で行くから、お前飛車振ってくれる？
全然聞いてませんね。
Yes, you're right. I need to rest, so let's play some shogi.
いいんでしょうか？僕はこんなんで少しは役に立ててるんでしょうか？僕ばっかり得してないでしょうか？C1の僕は A 級の島田さんとさせるのはとても勉強になります。でも僕は何か返せているんでしょうか？
お前さ、同じことを言うんだよね。時々だけどさ。
え？
言ったろ？気持ち悪いって。
なんていうか、
Were
気
those
持ち悪いっていうか。
あの37銀を見たとき、控室で同じこと言ったんだってさ。
Wow.
37銀が気持ち悪い。
They really are a mirror.
ってちょっと似て
Indeed.
んだよね。どこがどうってわけじゃなくてさ、強いて言えば視点かな。オールラウンダーなところももちろんだけれど、攻守の切り替えの柔軟さとか、畳みかける時の判断のタイミングとか。だから向かいに座って好きに動いてもらってると、
It's like I'm playing
それ
Soya.
に似た視点の感覚を少し
Ah,
つかめる気がす
brilliant.
る。付け焼き場とは思うが、それでもやらないでいるより。
そうや名人って どんな人なんですか？
お、そっか、そうだな。あれだけタイトル持ってると、もうほとんど将棋会館には現れないからな。免状に署名する時くらいしか。はあ、なんかそうだな。鳥に似てる。
鳥？
そう、こう静かで白くてスッとした感じの、ウサギとかツルとか細くてでっかいやつ。ウサギとカメってあるじゃん。あれのウサギのもっと上。ウサギじゃなくて
Huh.
鳥。そうや見てると自分はカメか血を這う虫な気がしてくる。卑下しているわけじゃなくてイメージな。でもって参るのは、ウサギは過信して自滅してくれるけど、そうやは天才と呼ばれる人間のご多分に漏れずサボらない。どんなに上り詰めても決して緩まず自分を過信することがない。だから差は縮まらない。どこまで行っても。俺はずっと見ていた。同い年の宗谷が風のように奨励会を駆け抜けていくの。さらにプロになり順位戦を駆け上っていくの。
So far ahead of him.
しかし縮まらないからといってそれが俺が進まない理由にはならん。
Wow.
抜けないことが明らかだからって俺が努力しなくていいってことにはならない。
島田さん、やっぱり今日は医者に行きましょう。
いや大丈夫、医者は言ってる。
でも島田さん、
薬もたーんともらってる。10代からだもんな。こいつが痛むのももう日常だ。もう嫌になっちゃうな。内臓だけは鍛えらんないからな。悪い、桐山、水頼むわ。
あ、はい。
悪いな、呼び出しておいてこのざまじゃ。
大丈夫、
やめてください。
大丈夫。
全然構いません。
さてと、じゃあ付き合ってもらえるか、もう少し。
Wow, that line straight across from the glass's edge. That's fantastic.
幕見れはな、それだけはな、申し訳が立たん。だってな、貼ってあるんだよ、地元の駅に今もデカデカとさ。しかも参ったことにな、いないんだよ俺しか。 B 級以上で山形出身だから俺がやるしかないん
He's
だ。
fighting for the whole town.
あの弾幕
Tendo, let's get a master.
すすけさせとくわけには
Wow.
だよ。
From the city of Shogi. That was a great rendition of the bullet train.
これ毛布と、あとあったかいお茶よかったら前のポケットに入れときますね。
ああ、すまんな桐山。
2時間ちょっとですね。着いたら起こしますから眠ってください。
悪いな、頼む。
Ow.
はい。あれから僕は
もう角番だ。ストレート負けはな、それだけは。
そういう島田さんに押し切られる形で僕は研究に付き合い続けた。やっぱり僕一緒に行きます。一人にするわけにはいきません。
すまん。
しかし島田さんの青ざめた寝顔に本当は何が何でも拒否して休ませるべきだったのではと不安と後悔が渦巻いた。
京都です。
タクシー乗り場は
右だよ、京都タワー方面。
あ、はい。京都第二ホテルまでお願いします。
はい。
That was a lovely bit of acoustic guitar.
来た来た。おい島田。おお桐山、ご苦労だったな。
Nice hotel.
会長すみません、ご心配をおかけして。
またいかよ、弱っちいなお前は。
Oak
昔から
floors.
なあ。
すみません。
糸かって移植できねえのかな。
Look at these shadows
お
over
前
here.
一生タイトル取れないぞ。
会長、無茶言わないでください。
12:34.
もういいや。
Or 15:34.
まで部屋で寝てろ。おい、部屋へ案内。
頃合いを見て呼びに来ます。お水とお茶と携帯、枕元に置いたんで、何かあったらすぐ呼んでください。
Everything you can.
なんかおかんみたいだな。
すみません、しつこかったですか。
いやいや、そうじゃな
Yeah,
くて。
yeah.
ありがとな。
さてと、僕は何してたらいいんだ。そうだ、コンビニ探して何か飲むものと本を。
意外だな桐山。お前はもっと現代っ子でクールなのかと思ってたんだがな。島田を連れてきてくれて助かったよ。さてと俺もそうやを迎えに行ってくっか。まだ来てやがらねえ。あんにゃろ近所だと思って油断してやがんな。
近所？
ああそう、銀閣寺のそば。
そんなすごいとこに？観光地のど真ん中なのでは？
いや、すげえ静かだよ。
お家の人とかは電話とか
出ねえんだなこれが。ああ、
Oh, so is he going with him?
ちーっと耳が遠いのよ。やっぱちょっと行ってくるわ。
This theme.
京都か。中学校の修学旅行以来だな。なんかお土産とか買ってったらひなちゃんたち喜ぶかな。
あれ、桐山は？
知らねえ。いいんじゃね？自由行動なんだから。
自由に行動してんじゃね？ですな。
Reading Shogi books.
やっぱ帰ろう。
Wow.
行きたいとことかわかんないし。そして夜になり、獅子王戦第4局前夜祭が始まった。みんなに囲まれた島田さんはにこやかに受け答えをしている。でも夕べからほとんど何も取っていない。さっきまであんなに苦しんでいたのに。やっぱ無理です。明日に響いては元も子もないんですよ。
そりゃまあ重々承知だけどね。いい対局を見せるのが一番の務め。
Cares so much for his
この場を用意して
spectators.
くれた人たちの前にきちっと立つのも大事な務めだ。
わかるけど、でも
Turns his grimace into a
フラッシュ
grin.
が一つたかれるたび胸が痛んだ。島田さん、その一つ一つさえも島田さんの胃をチリチリと焼くような気がして。何か話してる。
Soya up, Shimada down.
島田さん、
出るぞ、そっとな。
どうして急に？いいんですか？
大丈夫、任務完了だそうだ。あとは任せろとさ。塩を送られちまった。
よっ、お勤めご苦労さん。
すみません、明日に備えて今日は。
大丈夫大丈夫。すっといなくなりゃわからんさ。それにみんなが見に来たのはそうや。だから気にすんな。
ですよね。
ですよね。
まあ挨拶が済んじゃえばあとはほぼソーヤの撮影会ですもんね、いつも。
Oof.
なあ、お前って昔から影が薄いっつうか、いろんなとこ薄いっつうか。
それで本当。
ほんとあいつムカつきますよね。いつまでもピチピチっつうかふさふさっつうか。
なあ、同い年なのにな。 どっちかっていうと後藤と同期って感じだよな。
あ、そうだ、桐山。桐山、お前の部屋な。スミスに頼ん
Smith
でた
is
か
here?
ら、あいつんとこ行けな。副立会人で来てんだよ。
Where's his cat? Did he bring his
大
cat
丈夫で
with
す
him?
僕ネットカフェとか行きますから。
バカ、そんなのダメだ。いいな。スミス会場にいるから声かけろ。
Go.
じゃあな、おやすみ。
お疲れ様でした。
じゃあ。
こ
Ow.
んな時まで人の心配を。
あれじゃあな、そりゃ胃も痛むわ。
困るな。せっかく一人で優雅に過ごそうと思ってたのに。
すみません、大丈夫です。ネカフェとか行きますから。
何受けるなよ。めんどくせえやつだな。
Ah!
ん？ちょっと待ってろ。ああ、はい、もしもし。おお、どう？そっちは。あれ？俺はこれから寝よっかなってとこ。うん。どうよ。俺がいなくて寂しがったりしてるんじゃない？大丈夫？え？あ、そう。食欲もあるの？もりもりペロッと食べちゃった。え？何？今のその声。いちごちゃん？何？俺以外の人にそんな甘えた声。
彼女か？しかも別の人と一緒に？三角関係？僕ここにいていいのかな？
え？膝に乗ってる。ああ、どういうこと？抱っこ嫌いで俺の膝にも乗らないで。
スミスさん。
桐山、俺ちょっと飲んでくるわ。鍵持ってっていい？俺の子猫ちゃん。
そしてまるで何事もなかったかのように静かに夜は明け、獅子王戦第4局の幕が上がった。
では9時になりましたので、先手宗谷獅子王から始めてください。
よろ
It begins. We're right at the end.
島田さん、昨べは少しは眠れたんだろうか。表情が険しい。胃はまだ痛み続けているのだろうか。どうすればよかったんだ。練習を断って無理やりにでも休ませた方が良かったのだろうか。
All your worry is for
悔や
nothing.
んでも戦いの幕は切って落とされてしまった。あとはもう誰も手を差し伸べることはできない。
Alright, so I'm gonna actually watch the previews.
いきなり10分前ですよ。
大丈夫大丈夫。
ごめん。一応連絡しようとはしたんだけど。
俺も対局でなければ飛んでいったのだが、
せっかく新しい和服着てきたのにテレビに出されて。
獅子王戦。島田さん。
Wow. That's an interesting style. Is that digital? It looks like it's digital. Just because of the way that these shading lines are perfectly circular. Yeah, I think this is digital. Interesting. Nakamura Hikaru. Who are you? Hikaru Nakamura. What? American Chess Grandmaster? That's not him. That can't be him. Hikaru Nakamura, my anime list. Blah, 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 blah. My anime list. Okay, totally different person. Very completely different person. Oh, the original creator of Arakawa Under the Bridge, another Shaft show. Oh, that makes sense. A couple of other manga that I have not seen, but I have heard of Saint Onisan. 7.6, A1 Pictures, Comedy Seinen Slice of Life. Jesus Christ and Gautama Buddha, the founders of Christianity and Buddhism, are living together as roommates in a Tokyo apartment? What? 2 OVA episodes. Okay. Arakawa is, of course, a classic great Shaft show. If you haven't seen Arakawa Under the Bridge, you should. Juni Taisen. Oh, this is the Zodiac one. Right. Okay. No interest. And Natsu no Arashi? Just did some drawing on it. Okay. Interesting. So she's the one who did, I think that's a she. Pretty sure. Yeah. Did this, and it's cute. Not my favorite rendition of Shimada, but cute, and I like her style, especially the use of light on like the glass objects and like here on the shogi board, and the way the light from the window is clearly portrayed on everything in the room. It's nice. It's very nice. Okay, let's talk about this episode, because there were some things in this episode that really stood out to me, so let me zoom these notes out. Zip, zap, zoom. And scroll up to the top. So yeah, the OP grows on me every time I hear it. The first 5 minutes, minus the OP, are all Shimada backstory. So all that wistful setup that we got for his hometown has come in, and we've expanded on it. We've added more pieces to the puzzle of why he feels this way. It's a quiet town. Also, oh yeah, City of Shogi, Tendo. Right. So somebody mentioned in a previous episode that that we would see. Yeah. Tendo, Yamagata is a city known for its production of the wooden pieces used in shogi. Okay, so this is the city where they make the shogi pieces. That means a lot then. So Shimada is from the city of Shogi, where these pieces are made, and they have never had a master from their city. How that must make the people of the city, especially the older gentlemen, feel to never have had a master from their city, and to have this rising young hope who seems like he could perhaps become a master. He has their full support. Big time. Big time. Wow. I wonder if Nikaido somehow... No, he probably just paid for it. Yeah, okay, I'm thinking totally out... I'm thinking the wrong thing. Ignore what I just said. I don't even know what I was talking about. So Shimada backstory. And his love for shogi is partly because it never ends, right? You can always play another game, and no two games, because of just the sheer number of permutations of the board that you can have, you can keep playing and keep getting interesting things out of it, unlike video games and books, which are, as he says, over far too quickly. So he works all these odd jobs, working his tail off just to get the money to pay for the bus, to fuck up his stomach and go to the association so that he can play, so that he can learn, so that he can become the master that everybody wants him to be. Wow, that's a bit of a weight on his shoulders. But it's a very wholesome weight. There was a shot at about... I'm going to reduce the volume a bit. There was a shot at about 4:30 where we got all these hands clicking. I thought this shot was just amazing. all of that depth of different layers interacting with each other is it's so good, and the clicks are always so lively and correct. I assume that they like hung a microphone over a shogi board and captured a whole shitload of click noises, because I don't know how else he would do it. How else he would get it that right. So he goes from being the biggest fish in his small pond hometown to being just another brat, right? How difficult. A den of wolves, yeah. There was so much atmosphere and so much vibe in this whole section, and so much of it is provided by the voice actor's stellar performance. Who is voice acting him? I know he also plays Kaiki, I don't know what from, but Shimada, Rigatsu, Mal. Kai Shimada. Shinichiro Miki, who is also a bunch of .hack people, and just gonna see if I recognize him from anywhere. He's Kisuke Urahara from Bleach. I actually recognize that. Okay. Interesting. He's a minor supporting character in Bebop. Somebody in Dragon Ball Super. He plays Assassin in the OG Fate Stay Night. He's Kurtz Weber! Oh, and he's Roy Mustang. Oh, in Brotherhood at least. Oh, okay. I like it. Okay, that's basically all I recognize. But he's got a huge list of roles, just an immense list of main and supporting cast alike. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, he is a great voice actor. Okay. Anyway. His performance here is just stellar. And as I said during the thing, he's leveraging the proximity effect of his microphone. Like, he's already got a nice deep voice, but then he's getting up really close. I'm going to try not to pop this mic, so I'm going to angle my voice this way so that air doesn't go into the capsule. But he gets up really close to the microphone, and I'm not altering my voice really any more than I am here. But when you're further away from the microphone, less of the bass frequencies make their way into the capsule. And as you get closer to the microphone, more of the bass frequencies make their way into the capsule. I am talking a little bit more quietly again so that I don't pop the mic, because fuck plosives. But it makes your voice sound much more full and deep on the low end. And as I said, I'm not modifying my voice to do that. That's just the nature of microphones. I've been reading up a lot about microphones and watching a lot of videos about microphones. So just something interesting I wanted to point out, because you can really hear that deep rumbly bassiness in his voice, along with his very smooth, it's not quite gravelly, it's very smooth, but he's got this this deep tenor, not tenor, but deep baritone feel to his. Along with this breathiness in the way that he ends words. It's very cool. Nata. Oh, it's so good. It's such a good performance. I can't even believe. Okay, and then there's this shot at 6 minutes that I wanted to look at again, because it's as he puts stuff into the fridge. Yeah. It's a really nice perspective shot. Shaft likes doing these plays on perspective. I wonder if this is also referenced by a TV show or something similar, because I've seen this kind of camera in the fridge put something in the fridge or get something out of the fridge shot before, but I don't know if this is a direct reference to something.
Yeah.
So then something else that I sort of only noticed consciously in this episode, and I should have noticed it much earlier, but I don't know, I guess I was just paying more attention for whatever reason. Something that this show, and I think a lot of Shaft shows do, is there are these constant cuts to scenery and to sort of almost random but very carefully planned objects in the environment, and they're used as sort of pads between primary shots of things happening. So we're looking at one right now. We cut from action with Rei doing this. Actually, there are multiple. They come so fast. And I think what this gives you is it gives you sort of a flow in the visual, but this sounds weird, but it makes the visual flow better by breaking it up. Does that make sense? Because you experience more of the environment, but carefully selected scenes of the environment that the director wants you to see, not necessarily for an explicit or specific purpose, but because they add to the atmosphere and ambiance and feel of the visuals so much. So I think in this scene, we'll probably get at least 2. I'll just play like 10 seconds of video. So here we go. Action by Rei. He's moving in to there. And then we have this cut. Okay, this is action. Never mind. It's just a different cut from below. So there's only going to be the one of the scenery outside, which we cut to here, right? We cut to this outside scenery to show time passing, what time of day it is, the feel, the fact that it's spring, there are these cherry blossom buds on the trees. All of this is atmosphere. All of this adds to our feeling of the setting, right? And then we get cuts to things that they're specifically talking about, stuff like that. Let me mute it so that I can just go through. And then there was a very solid example of this later on, which we'll get to. We get this line about my father also suffered stomach aches, and we know immediately that he's talking about his real father, and Shimada figures it out a little bit later. But this idea that Shimada and Rei's biological father share some quirk, some characteristic, cements, in my mind at least, this idea that Shimada as a Shimada is Rei's Shogi daddy, all right? He's Rei's Shogi daddy. He's Rei's Shogi pops. He's a surrogate father in a Shogi way. And unlike his actual adopted father, right, who pulled him in because of Shogi, right, and their relationship was only based on Shogi, and sort of started as like just a father-son adoptive relationship and became more and more about Shogi until it broke. Their relationship between Rei and Shimada starts with Shogi and is growing out from there. So Shogi is like the seed of their relationship, the cornerstone, and everything else can build on that. But it's a more natural flow into a really valuable relationship. And speaking of value in a relationship, we get this section where Rei is worried. He's worried that he's being a parasite. He's worrying that he's being a cuckoo in Shimada's life in a way. That he's the only one benefiting from their back and forth. But it is a back and forth. Shimada gets as much from it as he does, and we get some insight into a specific reason why, which is that Rei is really a mirror of Soyotoji, and he's like Soyotoji light. And so Shimada can play off him and learn to an extent what Toji might think in certain situations and how he might play against him. So it's the most useful practice that he could possibly get. And that's fantastic. I love it. What was at just before 8? Oh, it's the whole sequence. There's this crazy sequence of like a visualization in the same vein as the Star Wars visualization that we got in the last episode of what it feels like to wake up in the middle of the night with the realization that something that you were planning is not going to work out. So he realizes this one move, and that one move would totally shatter all of his plans, right? And we get this visualization of that as this one meteor knocks through and sort of domino effects, but with this bombastic, over-the-top, explosive animation as these planets just crash into each other and knock everything out of alignment. And I think the timing of the visuals is linked to the timing of his voice acting. Until it hits him, goes colorful like kaleidoscope. Yeah. And it's just, and his hair falls out, flies out, and then him on the, like, with a rocket booster behind him, just flying through his own thoughts. It's fantastic. And of course, this is just tearing his stomach to pieces. So something that I want to mention / ask about is this idea of sealed moves. What was that? I feel like we've referenced that before, and I just don't remember what it was. So let me Google it. Sealed move, Shogi. All right, it comes up on Google thing. Huh. So it's the last move before an adjournment. So it's a multi-day tournament, right? And there can be breaks in between. So it's the last move you were going to make. Oh, I get it. Okay. So you're about to take a break. And it's your turn, right? And if you play the move, then your opponent gets all this time, all this infinite time to think about it. So you write down which move you're going to play, and then you say, I'm going to play this move, and you don't get any extra time to think about what you're going to do, and your opponent doesn't know what you're going to do, so you're on equal footing. So you can take a break, and it's not like during the break that opponent can go and talk to all their friends and all their mentors and people and be like, hey, so they're going to play this. What should I do? Let's figure out a counterplay and like move from there. So neither of the players has a significant advantage because of the break time. That's cool. Okay, that makes perfect sense. Right. Okay. Similar viewpoints. Right. And then we get this interlude of Shimada giving us a metaphorical representation of Soyotoji. He's like a bird, a big bird, an egret or a crane, noble and sort of tall and thin, and flying high above the rabbit and the rabbit and the tortoise, or the tortoise and the hare. That's what it is. And every time we see it, it's sort of ethereal. There's this like glow around the bird that he's talking about, which is really cool. And then we get this really interesting thing, which sort of ties into what we've heard from Rei's struggle before, which is that Soya doesn't slack off. He never relaxes. No matter how far he climbs, he never stops moving forward. He never lets anyone get closer to him. He always continues moving forward. He always continues playing, regardless of all his accolades, regardless of how good he gets and how many tournaments he wins. He never stops. He never gets comfortable and rests on his laurels. And we had this section before where Rei was talking about how when he finally reached this island, he started to slack off, right? Because the rush of the sea was so overwhelming to him that he just wanted to cling on to the rocks, right? And just like take a breather. But you can't do that if you want to be the best. You have to keep moving forward because there are always driven people like Shimada nipping at your heels. Always. And they're never going to slow down. And then Shimada says, like, on his side, he knows that he's never going to surpass Soyotoji. This guy's like a masterful prodigy, and he can, every step that Shimada takes, Soyotoji also takes a step forward because he never stops. He never rests. So he'll never catch him, but that doesn't mean he shouldn't follow in his footsteps and try. It doesn't devalue his efforts. In fact, the knowledge that he'll never do it, he'll never overcome this guy, and yet he keeps going is something romantic, and like it's got some value there. It's got some weight there. Just because I'm not getting closer doesn't mean I should stop trying. There's this power of striving for the impossible. That's what I wrote down. I like that. There's this really cool light at 12:45, and I realized that it's actually it's earlier as well. I don't remember where, but there's another scene where there's this beam of light with like intermittent lens flares across it, which is really cool looking. And at 12:45-ish, yeah, here, the line of the light it's perfectly parallel with all of the horizontal objects in the space, because that's like the way we're looking at it. And we've got we're looking at this scene from what we would call a dog's eye view, and that was pioneered by who created the dog's eye view? Dog's eye view. No, film. Japanese cinematography. Fucking hell. Japanese director, low angle shots. Is it Ozu? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Ozu Yasujiro. Right, and what films of his have I seen? It's a couple. Is he Tokyo Story? He is! Okay. Yeah, so he's an early Japanese film director, super influential, and has created some of the true greats of Japanese film, one of which is Tokyo Story. And he did things really differently than... Like, he broke a lot of rules of classic Western Hollywood filmmaking. For example, you have this... Here, let me switch to window capture so you can actually see what I'm looking at here. 180-degree rule. So, 180-degree rule is like, you never want to swap your camera from one side of a conversation to the other, because it ends up flipping the people, right? You can move your camera anywhere within 180 degrees of the space, and whichever side you start on, you should stay on that side. So it's not like you shouldn't shoot people from the left, it's just that if you start shooting people from the left, you shouldn't then go and shoot them from the right. If you do switch between the 180-degree rule, often that feels very, very jarring and fucky, and you can use that effect to make a scene like screw with the audience a little bit. It's kind of like using a Dutch angle where the camera is tilted slightly. It makes everything feel wrong, and that's why you don't want to do that normally in film. Ozu breaks the 180-degree rule occasionally, just for fun, and because he wants to make scenes feel wrong. And he does a really good job of that. He also has a habit of having his actors, when they're in a conversation, he has his actors face directly into the camera and stare directly into the camera, so that instead of looking at the conversation from a third person's perspective or having them look off to the side, which is the standard. So like if I was talking to someone, I'd be looking over here and the camera would be over here, and I wouldn't be looking directly into the camera. You would have like a third person omnipotent viewpoint. Ozu doesn't do that often. He usually has his actors face directly into the camera. So it'll go like, scene 1 is guy sitting on a tatami mat talking directly into the camera, and scene 2 is woman pouring tea looking directly into the camera, right? And it switches between them, giving you the feel that you're in the shoes of each of the characters, each of the characters in turn, which is like, it's almost jarring and it feels weird, but it's a very unique stylistic touch. One of his other unique stylistic touches is the low angle shot. Is it called a tatami shot? The Ozu shot. Huh. Yeah, so he does... I think this is a scene from Tokyo Story. It is, okay. So this is a scene from Tokyo Story, and you can tell the characters are sitting on a tatami mat, and in this case, this is from Tokyo Story, right? I think it is. I'm pretty sure I remember this scene. So these, if I'm correct, if I'm not just making this up, then these characters are the grandmother and grandfather of they're the parents of the main characters of Tokyo Story. Tokyo Story is a movie, a really good film, really long, sort of slow film about generational differences. So they're the old generation, and they go and do they go and visit, or do the children go and visit? There's a visitation between the older generation and the younger generation with their like busy Tokyo lives and stuff like that, and it's all about the lack of respect and the type of respect and the sort of it's a really interesting narrative. Anyway, they're like facing the same direction. These two characters are very aligned, very traditionally dressed, very traditionally sitting on tatami mat, stuff like that. They're sitting in seiza. It's like Japanese style of sitting, seiza. They're sitting in seiza position, which is like kneeling but with your feet crossed over each other. It's really difficult for Westerners to do because we don't have the ankle flexibility for it. It gets really old. But yeah, they're sitting in seiza, which you've probably seen a few times at least if you've watched a lot of Japanese media. But what's interesting to notice about this sequence is, first off, I think this is probably all one. No, okay, this is multiple shots. But Ozu uses a ton of long shots, and he often puts his camera at an inhuman viewpoint, which is called, I've heard it called dog's eye view, and I've heard it called a tatami shot. It's the Ozu shot. He started doing it. Nobody had really done it before. He puts the camera at the level that you would be at if you were sitting on a tatami mat, even lower usually. Like right now, our camera is very close to the floor, looking up at our characters. And it gives a very unique feel. He loves framing Japanese rooms with like lots of squares, so you can see the way that they're framed against these bamboo slat backgrounds, and like all of the lines in this shot are vertical, horizontal. Just everything is square. He loves that. Does that all the time. Same thing here. We've got this frame around the male character, right? And then there's this frame around these alcohol gourds and some other stuff over here. And then the whole shot is framed here, right? And it's almost, if you look at it, it almost looks like a golden spiral, right? In terms of, oh, that's a moving thing. I don't want to see a moving thing. Yeah, there we go. This should be good. Like, the way things are broken down are very, very golden spirally and very rule of thirds-y. Like, she's definitely in the rule of thirds area. And there's this other block around her face. He loves framing stuff this way. It's cool. And the way this character like moves from the background into the foreground. Characters framed by sliding doors. But what's really important to notice here, and I'm just giving you a little ill-informed lesson on the cinematography of Yasujiro Ozu. Again, we've got these squares, these interlocked squares and rectangles everywhere. Everywhere. He loves them. And there are foreground objects in the frame as well. It's almost like we're looking through a window, sort of into their lives. But our camera is at the floor. And the reason that I'm inspired to do all of this is because we've got the camera at the floor. And this is exactly in the center of the frame. Oh, you can't see this right now. Yeah, this line right here is, as far as I can tell, it is exactly in the center of the frame. Cutting the frame directly in half. That's the horizon line. Straight up. And we are looking up from the floor at all of our characters. And this screams Ozu, just because of the angle and the framing. I mean, we've got, there are all these trademarks in here. We've got all the squares, right? Got all of these rectangular perpendicular lines used to frame everything. And the light in from here, it's fantastic. But I particularly like this line of light with the sort of blurry lens flare type things coming off of it. It's great. I love it. Anyway, I talked for way too long about that. And then he explains that Shimada explains that at his town they have this banner hanging. Finally, a master from the city of Shogi. The only person in B class or higher. That's why I have to do this. I can't just let that banner hang there and become stained. I have to make it real. I have to make it true. Let's get a master. Let's get a master. Man, if we weren't already rooting for Shimada, we sure are now. Oh yeah, buddy. Okay, so 12... Wait, where was it? I put down 12:30. That doesn't seem right. Is that right? Yeah, that's not right. It must be later. So, the scene with the bullet train. Yeah, okay, here we go. So, let's talk about these cuts to scenery, right? So, these first few, we could consider establishing shots. We're telling the audience, us, that we are in a train station, okay? They're gorgeous. They are very realistic. Hyper-realistic, I would almost say, if not for the sort of watercolory texture that's applied to them. But they may very well be actual photographs taken and then drawn over. Just because of the amount of detail in some of this work is just incredible. But I don't know. And just the way the lighting plays off of this bullet train is fantastic. You can tell that this is digital art because of the way that the shading is done. But it's just fantastic. You can see some of the work, some of the brush strokes in here. The digital brush strokes. Yeah, it's so stellar. And the way the perspective is done perfectly, the horizon line or horizon point is right here. And the train vanishes into it, taking up this whole chunk of space. And there's this, oh wow, there's this as well to follow down. This reflective surface, that's so difficult to do. Reflective surface going off in perspective. Fantastic. And then all of these accurate reflections on the tiles. Semi-accurate. Close enough to not matter. Reflections on the tiles. Oh, stellar. It's just lovely. So we go from establishing shots to some action in the train, right? Putting the bag up. And then we do these hard cuts to stuff. To things in the environment. So we see the no smoking and the reserved seat sign, right? Here's a blanket, back to action, to stomach. I'll put it in the pocket in front of you. Sorry for the trouble, Kiriyama. And then there's a hard cut to it, right? So we see the tea there. And then later, we see the tea once more. Where is it? Yeah, there are all these cuts to scenery. And this one was particularly cool because of the changing of the sound. That's it. The way we transitioned the sound. So we fade to black and hear sure. And then we see this train station. And then we hard cut to rain falling. And the rain just stays. See, and we're cutting to random things outside of the house with the leaf with rain pouring on it. It just adds atmosphere, adds feeling, adds oomph to everything. And it's scattered throughout the show, all the way through. Everywhere we go, we get cuts to scenery. It's also a way to save money in a sense, because you just have to draw the one frame, right? And then show it for a little while with some gorgeous background music, and it just has to be one pretty frame instead of a sequence of okay looking frames or pretty good looking frames. All of the background art is fantastic. Oh, it's so good. So good. We go to the lobby. Yeah. this line. Oh, also 1534, there was some interesting stuff in the lobby of the hotel. Specifically, the shadows in this scene. The shadows and the overlapping shadows on the wood floor. So at first I thought that this was intended to be like a different color of wood inlaid, right? Because sometimes you'll get stuff like that. But I realized that what we have in this situation is we have overhead lights, right? There are these high lights over here. And we can assume that there are big chandeliers up above as well. And so we've got light from all angles hitting these pillars and sending shadows out. And then they overlap in the sections, in the centers, creating darker sections. And there are all these little bits of shininess on the shiny wood floors. It really feels like a luxurious hotel lobby. It really does. It's gorgeous. I love it. I love it. And of course, that's intercut with like goofiness. Again, this is so detailed, and the perspective is so difficult with the things cut off that this is either done with a reference or actually a photograph that's been drawn over. I find it really hard to imagine that somebody did this from imagination. I think this was probably done either sitting in this hotel, and this is a real inside of a real hotel, and somebody was sitting right here drawing what they could see, or it's a photograph of what they could see that was taken and then used as the reference and drawn over perfectly later. One or the other, I would guess. Now, that doesn't diminish the level of the work. Drawing from life is definitely not easy. And, like, I don't know, do you give props to somebody for being able to imagine something like this? I give props to somebody for being able to perfectly recreate the light and texture and feel and vibe of this hotel, with its multiple levels visible in the shot, and this like looking out over this balcony across to the other balconies with this corner in perfect perspective, all of the lines to a perfect horizon right over here. Ah, it's just gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Fucking gorgeous. Sound like my mother, and that's a good thing. More cuts to scenery, more info on Soya, or on Toji. Soya Toji, both. And then there's some great shots of him wandering around. Here, especially. This is gorgeous. And again, they're so good at capturing light. It almost feels like a Makoto Shinkai shot because of just the use of these added in digital light effects, which is sort of a Shinkai trademark. It feels like a Makoto Shinkai shot. Oh, and we've got this moving lens flare as the sun sets. That's gorgeous. Really, really beautiful. And then as the reception goes on, we get this we find out this very interesting line. We don't even hear it. We see him say it, but we hear it said by Shimada. Soyotoji knows and understands his opponent's pain and acts in order to help him. Leave the rest to me. I've got it, bro. You go rest. Let's have a good battle. Yeah, there's some honorable battle between great men there, you know? Like great opponents, honorable battle, caring about each other. I like that a lot. I really do, because Soyotoji has been built up as this mysterious figure and sort of an antagonist. But not a bad guy, just an antagonist. In that he is at odds with a protagonist. Like, Shimada is a protagonist, and he is at odds with Soyotoji. Soyotoji is an obstacle, therefore an antagonist. That doesn't make him a bad guy, it just makes him someone who must be overcome. And he's been set up this way, and he's got this hint of that with the whole devil's face thing. But we find out that he's a human too. He's a good dude, and he is aware of Shimada's journey behind him. Like, despite the fact that he's always looking forward, despite the fact that he's always moving far, far ahead of Shimada, he's aware of the guy following, trudging in his footsteps, with his stomach in turmoil behind him, and he respects him to some degree, and he wants to have a good battle with him. And then we end the scene with we end the episode with an interlude, sort of relieves some tension a little bit with Smith and the cat and the thing on the phone. It's really goofy and hilarious. And then we go into the battle itself, and it begins. And I figure next episode, we're going to get some of it. I really hope so. So we've sort of skipped over the first two a little bit. We really skipped over some of them, but we've skipped over those battles. Now they've built up this third battle, and it's game point for Soyotoji, as far as I know. I think it's a 7-round tournament, but if he wins this match, there's almost no way that Shimada can come back from it. And there's certainly no way that Shimada will get to go to his hometown without an amazing stroke of luck. So, we hope that Shimada will win this one, and this is the one that we've built up to. I don't know if he'll win. I don't know if he'll lose. I don't know what happens from here. I don't care, because it's going to be awesome. Okay, that is all that I have to say about this episode, and I think I had a lot to say. So, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the episode as much as I did. And as always, I hope to catch you in the next one. Leave your comments down below. If you leave something that I like, I'll spotlight it in the next episode. All right? And if you want next week's episode, it'll be up on Patreon for $5 and up patrons, so you can go and get that if you want it. Okay. Now, I've been Teeaboo, this has been Sangatsu, I hope you liked it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.